So I was trying to think about how to structure this performance. I thought about this thing about 30 years of songwriting, and mostly just so I could tell you about the very first song that I wrote as a youngster, which I don't remember the majority of it, but the very first song I wrote was in 8th grade, or wrote the words down, wrote the chords down. And I did it because in 8th grade we had the last trimester of school was a Williamsburg project. So like every class was related to Williamsburg. And then we'd go to Williamsburg, which is, outside of DC, and do the whole colonial thing. And so instead of writing one of the papers I wrote a song, because that's what I would always do, as little work as possible, and sneak in some tune. And so I wrote this tune, and I only remember the chorus. It was called Colonies. And it was about how...
I thought that made years.
No, I literally haven't played this in 45 years. So the chorus just went, colonies, oh colonies, whatever we do, it seems like a sin. That's all I remember. And I thought about this tune, and what I remember, not the song, but what I remember is being deathly embarrassed because I had to play it in English class, because English was we were doing this all colonial stuff. And so I wrote it, and the teacher was like, do you mind singing your song? Because it's great. I was like, sure. So I sang and played in class. Then we went to history class. The same 15 of us, whatever, 20 of us went to history class. And the history professor was like, George, could you play that song that you wrote? I was like, I just did it. And he's like, no, do it. So I got up there and was like, come. I learned how an audience can go from being, that was great, to we heard it. And it really influenced my big putting sets together, trying to make it different every time. But that's all I remember. Colonies, oh colonies, whatever we do, it seems like a sin. Which is actually a compound meter, which is kind of cool too. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. It's like my first song was an odd time thing. Which before I even was into Rush and yes, weird stuff. So, but the very sort of real first tune I ever wrote that a bunch of other people played when I was in a band in college was this one. This is called So What. And it's not a great tune, but it's pretty good. There's a couple good lines. I just wanted to do this as a first one. And this is the first song I sort of brought to a band. And the band learned it, and we played it together. It was fun. So what is the response we hear when the questions are near, and the men with the jello for brains all decide to exhale? So what can be said once and again, from the start right to the end, while we know that the sand will exceed the small size of this pail? Now what if we were able to block the paper and the cable, see that things are not as stable as we hope they are, 'cause the light from this star might never be seen. So what if the walls all fell down and the people around all ignore the big noise that the bricks make while hitting the ground? So what? Bursting bubbles go pop, but the yawning won't stop, while the girls with the IQ of soap spread their hairspray around. Now what if we were able to block the paper and the cable, see that things are not as stable as we hope they are, 'cause the light from this star might never be seen. It seems there's too much of a cook thing. I could call, I could write, I could sing. This all would equate to a good thing. painting their own stocks, people pushing up daisies while daddy is mowing the lawn. So what? I'll repeat what I have said, 'cause we'll all soon be dead. And so what is the response we'll get from dusk to dawn? Now what if we were able to lock the paper and the cable, see that things are not as stable as we hope they are, 'cause the light from this star might never be seen. And what if we paid attention and knew which names to mention, hope to rely upon prevention of hope and such, 'cause we're seeing so much that we're missing the show.
And you were in college when you wrote that.
I wrote that 37 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a couple good lines in there.
It does?
It's the people pushing up daisies while daddy is mowing the lawn, right? It's like, that's a pretty good for a 19-year-old kid. That's pretty good.
I like the ending too.
So there's like a reference to Bill Clinton about Start to Exhale. That's like a Bill Clinton reference, and then like a homeless reference and stuff saying it. So it's kind of fun. I don't know if I should do this next one, but you know what? I'm going to do it because why not? So this is the first sort of funny song I ever wrote. I purposely wanted to write a funny song. When I got into college, I discovered Frank Zappa and realized that you could like write stuff that was musically interesting but also fun. Now this is on no way close to what Frank would do, but it's inspired by that, and I remember playing this at an open mic and getting a really good response. It's vulgar and terrible, but it's kind of fun. And again, just picture a 19-year-old kid very excited to be playing. You know, a drummer basically putting on a guitar and playing a thing. So this is called, I'll tell you what it's called. I don't want a pretty woman, blondes just ain't my thing. Don't want some hot dancer, even if she can sing. I don't want a pretty woman with a skirt above her knee. I just want a penguin chick to play with my rosaries. I want a nun. I want a nun. I want a nun that I can keep and take, a habit I would never break. I want a nun. A nun would be good for me. I would never love another. Things work out so perfectly, 'cause black is my favorite color. A nun would be good for me. She'd satisfy my glands, as long as she'd whip out that ruler and smack it on my hands. I want a nun. I want a nun. I want a nun for an escort, communion of a different sort. I want a nun. Here's the awful line. What kind of meat do priests eat? None. None would be good for me, but she'd have to know who's boss. And if she's misbehaving, well, I'd make her bear my cross. Don't make her do no penance, just wait for her to say please. I guarantee she won't be praying when she gets down on her knees. I want a nun. I want a nun. I want a nun that's not a slob. She can give me a Trinity job. I want a nun. Also terrible. Even if she can sing, I don't want a pretty woman with a skirt above her knee. I just want a penguin chick to play with my rosaries. I want a nun. I want a nun. I want a nun that's not a slob. She can give me that Trinity job. I want a nun for an escort, communion of a different sort. I want a nun that I can keep and take, baby. A habit I would never break, baby. A nun. Sit right. Oh, it's so fun. it's just, yeah, again, a bunch of 18-year-olds excited to be at college, got a huge response.
That was really interesting thing about a nun at 19.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's,
It reveals a lot.
it's just like, wow.
I'm raised Catholic. I was an altar boy.
Yeah.
Like the whole deal. So yeah, the whole deal. So I sort of started writing tunes, and this next one really set me off on the path that I ended up kind of going on. I read a book about skepticism and about critical thinking, and I wanted to write a tune, so I ended up writing this song called Skeptic. And like for some reason, people within the skeptic community found it, and before I knew it, I was playing at conferences, and I was emceeing things, and I was going to conventions, and then I'm like in Australia doing like skeptic stuff and science stuff and doing humanist things and doing all kinds of work. And it was because of this, basically because of this tune that I wrote. I just wrote because I was so fascinated by this idea of like skepticism and critical thinking and like being evidence-based. And I didn't want to write love songs, so I wanted to write this. So I've never done this on piano, but I thought I'd give it a little shot just to change it up a little bit. This is called Skeptic. What is the moral that we all must learn? of us with money to burn. Before your eyes widen to the book on the shelf, think, is he helping you? Is he helping himself? You can't believe what a skeptic I am. You should believe what a skeptic I am. That was off. Boom. Ended up being on the Skeptic website. And yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's the first time I've heard him on piano.
I've never played a piano before, so yeah, first time I heard a piano.
Are you a skeptic?
We got premiere.
You know, Skeptic has gotten a little bit of a bad kind of name in the last couple of years. It's been co-opted by people that are more denialists and cynics as opposed to skeptics.
Yes.
So I'm not a cynic or a denialist. I like evidence, and once the evidence is presented, it's like, okay.
I think it's really important
Yeah.
to understand. I think it's good to be a skeptic to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
to a certain extent. Again, you know, I did a whole TED talk about it. So.
Yeah.
Moving on, this next one, this is something I wrote about a friend of mine that a gentleman I work with a lot. He engineered all my albums and everything. He's a very talented singer, songwriter, and engineer, and human being. And he's one of these people that, you know, he does what you do. He does what I do. He's a songwriter, he's a musician, and he does it so much better than I do that it was always like, God, how do you do that? How do you do that thing? So I ended up writing the song sort of as an ode to him. This is called How Do You Do. How do you do what you do after dealing with what's done? Smiling statue standing ground while I turn tail and run. How do you do what you do with the crap cards you dealt? Turning deuces into kings while dealers buy what they felt. Oh no, not me, I can barely talk. Oh no, not me, I can't chew, gum, and walk. How do you hear what you hear after hearing what you heard? Endless optimism despite cruel concluding word. How do you hear what you hear when all I hear is bunk? Pitching perfect melodies while others pitch out junk. Oh no, not me, while you sing I shout, headphones rotate, but no words come out. So talented it makes you sick. So talented it must be a trick. Out of the park with each at bat. Tell me why can I be like that? How do you see what you see after seeing what you saw? Effortless enjoyment while I stare with open jaw. How do you see what you see from every single side? Calmly patching what you seek while I count 10 and ride. Oh no, not me, what you are I ain't. Dub me, mediocrity's patron saint. So talented it makes you cry. So talented, such a nice guy. Right through the goalposts with each attempt. Tell me why do I feel exempt?
study with Godfrey Daniels during Alex's session.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Were you there? No.
I think I was, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm not a songwriter, but I found it really interesting. There are different inspirations and processes to write a song. Did any of those resonate with you? Like,
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's amazing how, I mean, I've said this before, but the best description of songwriting, in almost any artistic endeavor, was this harmonica player in a band called Blues Traveler described it as going to the bathroom. Taking, like, sometimes you sit and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and just every muscle, every fiber of your body is squeezing and you finish and there's a BB in the thing. You're like, really? And then other times you sit down and it goes, bloop, bloop, no paper, no white, no nothing. That's what songwriting is like. And it's astonishing how accurate that is. And I wish I knew like what the process was. Like every time I write a song, when I finish it, I think I'm never writing another song. I don't know how that just happened. I don't understand. Like I lucked out again. I somehow found it and did it and lucked out again.
Which do you do first, the melody or the song?
Because
Because each of your songs were very different and they had very different melodies.
that's the best thing you can tell me. So
Well,
I appreciate that. So
it was-
you try to make interesting melodies. You try to make something. You know, that's one thing about singer-songwriters is that a lot of them tend to use the same chords.
Yes.
And their melodies tend to be focused on the words, so that it's, and the melody isn't really changing, but the words are kind of the same. And if you just sang the melody and went ba 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 ba, you'd be like, so I always say like hum your melodies, so to be able to go ba 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 da dee da 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 da, that works as a melody, you know. So thank you for saying that though, because that's.
So
Yeah.
what comes first with you? Do you do it together?
It's together usually, yeah.
That's
Usually
nice.
the stuff that works the best,
Is-
if it's a funny song, I have to write the jokes first.
Okay.
But usually I'll write a verse or two sort of to begin with to kind of get the idea. Like this next to me, for example, has a lot of jokes in it. There's a lot of jokes in it. Not jokes, but a lot of setups and punchlines. So you have to kind of work backwards and do that. But you sit with the guitar or with the piano and you sort of improvise and sing and try not to steal too much.
Mhm.
If you do end up stealing something, you modify it or think, well, I went up that time, so now I gotta go down, or like I did that in this other song, so let me try to avoid that. And hopefully you just try to stay and maintain, keep it interesting. So like for this next one, for example, you know, I wanted to write a song about misconceptions. Because there's so many sort of scientific facts that people claim that are just wrong. And so you go to the Wikipedia webpage, and it's literally a misconceptions page on Wikipedia, and there's 800 misconceptions there. And you just go, well, that's good, that's good, that's good. That'll run with that, that'll run with that. So you end up writing a song like this. So it's, you start the melody in the verse, and then you kind of write all the words afterwards. But so that's what this is called the Misconception Song. You don't know what you think you know, what you think you know is often wrong. You don't know what you think you know, but you could know what's in this song. You don't seal in juices by searing meat. You don't get headaches from too much MSG. There's a 50-day shelf life for each Twinkie. You probably thought they'd last an eternity. The historical bull was not a fat guy. Sharks can get cancer before they die. And though some textbooks say it's true, the blood in your veins is at no point blue. You don't know what you think you know, what you think you know is often wrong. You don't know what you think you know, but you could know what's in this song. Lemon eat cake was never sent by Marie Antoinette. Marco Polo did not bring home spaghetti. Just because dogs pant doesn't mean they don't sweat the pads on the paws, get a teeny tiny bit wet. Bats are not blind, they have limited sight. Did you know Napoleon was of average height? The Chevy Nova was a hit and it sell. Mexico and Venezuela as well. You don't know what you think you know, what you think you know is often wrong. You don't know what you think you know, but you can know what's in this song. Edison did not invent the incandescent light. Ford did not invent the car or build the first assembly line site. How about James Watt? Did he invent the steam engine? How about not? And I know that you say that you swear you've seen it, but George Washington Carver did not invent the peanut. You don't know what you think you know, what you think you know is often wrong. You don't know what you think you know, but you could know what's in this song. Sugar does not cause hyperactivity. Glass does not flow super slowly. Rust does not cause tetanus. You see, if you want to wake a sleepwalker, hey, You don't know what you think you know, but you can know what is in this song. Albert Einstein never failed a single math test. A cop doesn't have to say he's a cop if he's pressed. Milk doesn't cost fun to come up out of your chest. Lemmings don't kill themselves, who'd have guessed? It's okay to crack your knuckles, no damage will be done. You can taste everywhere on your tongue. Let me say one thing, no one can rebuke. A vomitorium's an exit and not a place to puke. I mean, come on. You don't know what you think you know, what you think you know. It's off and road. You don't know what you think you know, but you could know what is in this sound. Marconi did not invent the radio. Did Thomas Cropper invent the flush toilet? No, no, no. But using their brains and persistence, they improved stuff already in existence. And yet, for some reason, this myth remains that human beings only use 10% of their brains. Humans use 100% of their brains. Humans use 100% of their brains. Please stop saying humans. Seriously, there's one thing you take away from the song. It's a simple fact that humans use 100% of their brains. You change. You don't know what you think you know, but now you know what you think could be wrong. Now you know what you think could be wrong, because you listen to all the stuff in the song. Yeah. And now we're all slightly less wrong. So remember those
I
next
don't
time.
want to argue with you, but,
I did have a guy come up to me, well, no, glass it goes slow because you go to the churches and at the bottom of the glass is thick. I'm like, yeah, no, it doesn't. Put the thick at the bottom of the glass because when they used to make glass, it wasn't perfect. So you would choose the thicker end to have it rest on, and that's why the glass is, no, it's liquid. I said, okay, fine.
So you really do think that we use 100% of
100%.
our brain?
Well, here's the thing. Do you use 100% of your car?
No.
But it all needs to be there for you to be able to use it, right?
Right.
So it's like, if you think of it that way, it's not like, oh, we're only using the clutch and the gas pedal. It's like, well, no, it's all part of the thing. So you use 100% of your brain, the function of your brain.
It's all working together.
It's
in
all
order
working
to-
together. And
right.
that whole myth comes from one article that happened in 1960, where a guy said, we only understand about 10% of the brain how it works.
Right.
And that was misinterpreted as we only use 10% of
That's
our
a
brain.
different thing.
Yeah, but
It's
I
a very
actually,
different-
I do get a headache from MSG though.
yeah, there you go.
And so does my son.
And the parents will swear that sugar makes their kids hyperactive, but it's been tested again and again. It doesn't.
And I swear, we do not use 100% of our brain. Interesting song.
Go to that website. Go to the Wikipedia page. Here's a song I wrote. A different version of it than I normally do.
It has like an island sound to it.
One-way streets and priestly drips fill the trip with anticipation. Cautious calls during a busy fall through all the past times. Recollections on the phone, not being alone, of passing ships, and skip trips, and paid debts, and lost pets. Man, it's good to hear your voice, nicely sized and mildly spiced. 50 stories told while 50 said so many times. Here's to hello. Mildly spiced and nicely sized. 50 stories told while 50 stories high. They are something, but they don't know what that something really is. Could it be that so much time has passed right by? How could it be that so much time has passed right by? It's been said so many times. Here's to hello. Here's to hello. Here's to hello.
That's a hit. That could be a hit. Absolutely.
Your words to
Really, that has a really nice tune.
I've been saying that for years. I mean, my goodness.
That's a hit.
It's one of my favorites, actually. It is.
It was excellent. It took you in another world. It was very nice.
That was me wanting to try to write something like pretty.
It was,
and positive.
I felt like, it was kind of like an island, it had an island
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
to it.
So this version is very different than the one I recorded in terms of the orchestration. It was just, yeah.
Very nice.
So thank you so much.
And it sounds beautiful with the band, too. So, yeah, very flexible.
Okay, so here's one. Again, sort of along that skeptic line, kind of, or science line. And the title you would think would be kind of negative. I tried to turn it around and make it positive. This is called Everything Alive Will Die Someday.
Everything alive
Will die someday.
Okay.
So
that's-
stick with me. I think you'll be there. Just remember, everything alive will die someday. That's okay. It's the great equating factor in the world. Like some desiccated tractor, we all run out of gas. This life can't last, but everything alive will die someday. I used to worry that my folks would someday die. 'Cause that meant if they could do it, that meant so could I. Too young to handle this morose philosophy. I'd rather get high my way, climbing up a tree, and looking at the huge small world I could survey. I wondered what it'd feel like on that final day, and calculated the heartbeats left in my lot. Then realized I'd best relax and just enjoy the time I've got. And I'd remember that everything alive will die someday. That's okay. From the single cellular to grandiose, seems we're all destined to be toast. Every leaf, bush, shrub, and tree will cease to be. 'Cause everything alive will die someday. Every empire crumbles, every mammoth stumbles to the ground. Ally and enemy both kick the bucket equally. And in this truth there lies a fact. If you ignore those who distract, you might get to realize the fairness of unfairness is in everything's demise. You should remember that everything alive will die someday. And that's hard to say, but to me it's more a blessing than a curse. Is this a chorus or a weird verse? Every hand that's ever writ will up and quit. 'Cause everything alive will die someday. we say. You shouldn't do just whatever you will. Don't ever cause any ill and historic reversal. Don't you know this is the only chance we've got at home to meet an awful lot. This is the show and not some rehearsal. Talk of an extra inning implies this is just some beginning. There's no prize you will be winning. Your existence is enough of a reward to keep you grinning, or at least it should be. Thank you.
Can I ask you a favor? Can you explain the Clive reference? Because I kind of know it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
So that was one of the hardest lines I ever had to write, because I knew I had 14 syllables or 11 syllables. It had to rhyme with everything alive and die. And I couldn't, it had to communicate this idea of like, that's okay, because we get to be together for a while. And so I ended up writing, to look into your eyes is worth the eventual demise of earth, and never letting sell what the hell. We get to be like Deborah and Clive for a few days. So Clive Waring was a choir director, piano player, British piano player, choir director, who got a very specific kind of flu, and it's sort of like a fever, that basically killed all of his short-term memory. So he lives in like a 90-second bubble. So he doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know his name, he doesn't know names of people, he doesn't know he plays piano. But whenever he meets people he knows, especially his wife, Deborah, when Deborah walks in, he's like a puppy. And it's like,
Is this true?
This is true, yeah.
But he has long-term memory.
No, he doesn't, yeah, it's sort of, he lives literally in a 90-second. He knows he's like in this place, and he can kind of, yeah, so he has no long-term, barely any short-term. But whenever his wife, who they were married for 20 years, shows up, he's like a puppy. He's like, oh my God, yay! And they hug and they kiss, and she leaves for 10 seconds, comes back, oh my God, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's this pure love. He doesn't know he plays piano, but if you put him in front of a piano,
He just does it.
he just does it. And he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but he can sight read music.
What's this person's name?
Clive Waring.
Clive Waring.
So I thought, okay, that's, we get to be, if we're lucky, we can have that 90-second window of existence and be together and be mad about each other. She ended up getting her own life, and she comes and visits, and he lives in this hospital, and he's happy, he's okay. He likes to do puzzles that are very fast because he's very smart, and every now and then he'll pop from a piano and he'll just play piano. I think he's still alive. I think he's still alive. But so yeah, that's what that line is. So we get to be like Deborah and Clive for a few days.
Oh, that was in that song.
Yeah.
We get to be like Deborah and Clive for a few days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's on the CD, I have a version.
Yes. Yeah, that's on Travis Shit. Yeah. So here's a song I haven't done live. I think maybe ever. But this is about being so enamored by someone you gotta get distracted. You made him leave his guitar behind, but something never knocked ever on his mind. Unfair distraction with light and with heat. One stop later, gladly gives up his seat for you. Made to think the things that he never thought. Look, mind and thinker had him fished in and caught. No signs of equation to figure out. Knows value of X, now he can shout. Where have you been? Where have you been? All of the planning he would have to forget. One touch forward, puts it back of the net. Saying the words he said that he never say. Unbelieving heathen now will willingly pray for you. whatsoever. That's about it. That's a fun one because I wanted to write the same melody over different chords. So you have the na da 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 and da 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 da. So it's like a key change, but not really. Yeah. Is there anything you want to hear specifically that I could do? Since like it's just you crew. I'm more than happy to.
Would you like to hear?
I don't remember the song.
I mean, I have plenty that I'm going to go through, but if you think of something you want to,
I don't want to hear
like,
misinformation. No.
I don't know. That's
No,
hard to
that's
do
fine.
alone.
That's fine. That's
We're going to do it with the band.
Appreciate it.
Okay, okay.
When I was your age, is when I was your age in your set list?
I wasn't going to do it like in Cutley do that.
Because that might be fun,
I can do that.
but I don't want to ruin your set list.
No.
You did ask.
Pardon?
You did ask.
I did ask, you're right.
Actually, yeah, I'll do that instead of this one. So, yeah, you all will appreciate the references. It's called When I Was Your Age. When I was your age, the phone was tied to the wall with a kinky, twisting 3.5-foot cord. It's hard to believe, but it had a ring that could not be turned off or ignored. I couldn't choose the sound of the ring, it was just the sound. We called the phone, we never heard of a ringtone. When I was your age, our video games looked nothing like the illustrations on the box. All of the graphics consisted of nothing more than simple lines and dots. Missiles were just a few pixels, and the jungle swinging guy, he was a stick figure. Yeah, nothing bigger. When I was your age, when I was your age, when I was your age, we had this stuff called film. You could stick in a camera before you took a shot, and then you had to wait like a month until you could tell what pictures you got. You would hand the film to a guy in a parking lot who lived in a booth. Oh yeah, it's the truth. When I was your age, you had to wait till the movie was either in the theater or on TV. If you wanted adventure, you couldn't rent adventure, you just had to wait to see. Once you were watching, you couldn't stop or pause or even try to rewind. But you know what? We didn't mind. When I was your age, when I was your age, you see me as a grown-up, singing from the stage. I bet you can't believe I was ever your age. I was your age. When I was your age, I loved watching Star Wars, but I hear you like Star Wars more than me. I wanted to be Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is who you aspire to be. And I love playing with Lego, and Lego are what you currently build or rearrange. Because some things never change. When I was your age, I didn't like doing homework, but when it was finished, it always felt real good. I didn't like brushing my teeth, but I brushed my teeth because Bert and Ernie said that I should. I didn't like listening to Mom, though I knew deep inside it was the right thing to do. And hey, so do you. You know what's true? Before you can say boo, you'll be my age too.
Good pick.
That was a
Thank
fun-
you.
That was a fun song.
That's fun, right?
That was definitely a fun song.
That's another hit.
That's definitely a.
Go Casey, Casey.
Even though I'm dead, that's definitely a hit.
Far is a good one.
It's right from the grave. Here's one. This is not an album, but I wrote this for a movie, and they didn't end up using it, but I ended up getting an okay song out of it. So bit different for me. This is called Ask to Dance. So yeah. It's still surprising, realizing time has passed. In many ways, the days go slow, the months go fast. Saving a space inside a place that's never used. Going great lengths to show great strength, but deeply bruised. I keep waiting to be asked to dance. And if given half a chance, just a fraction of some longing glance would do. It's still confusing how amusing it should feel, but all the laughter that comes after is not real. In reminiscing, I keep missing my own mark. Fully enlightened, but still frightened of the dark. Though I keep waiting to be asked to dance, and if given half a chance, just a fraction of some longing glance would do. A perpetual emotion won't fill this empty ocean. I might have to face the notion it's easier to say grace than to get it. I'm not surprised to realize that time has passed. In many ways, the days go slow, the months go fast. In many ways, the days go slow, the years go fast. But I keep waiting to be asked to dance. And if given half a chance, just a fraction of 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 some longing glance would do.
So how old is that song? Is it very
It's about
true?
6 years old or so?
6
5,
years
6,
old?
yeah.
Because it seems the older you get, the faster time goes.
Seriously?
It's just really scary. Oh my God, summer's here.
Oh my God, my nephew's in college.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the two kids that I wrote when I was your age for are 23 and 24 right now. So
Wow.
I was
Isn't
7
that-
or 8 when I wrote it. It's like,
Isn't that amazing? It's just like, I think once you have kids, it just goes, time just goes. Or just, you get older.
I'm like, none of us have kids. It just goes.
It just
And
goes.
just
It
goes.
goes. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I like the idea that every day, every hour is a smaller fraction of your overall existence, so it passes faster. So like when you're 10 years old, a month
It
is whatever.
seems like forever.
Right,
and now
like a
it's
2-hour
like-
car ride is like, yeah, it's crazy, right?
I don't get it.
I won't be sleeping tonight, thank you.
All right, here's a song. This is all true. People ask me why I broke into a jail. It's 'cause all my friends were there. Then I preached from the roof of a Wendy's while just clad in underwear. I stole the telephone pole and then I denied cops still inside it. To be clear, I was not drinking and driving. I only drank at the red lights. Then I walked out of the Walmart gingerly with steak and lobster down my tights. If you don't believe me, you can be forgiven. You'll understand when you learn what state I live in. I am a Florida man. I am a Florida man. From Jacksonville to Lakeland. I am a Florida man. I gave a fake name to avoid an arrest. The fake name was wanted to. Was caught shoplifting at the Kohl's downtown. I was at the Kohl's for a job interview. The cops looked at me as if I was lying when I said the cocaine in my nose wasn't mine. I was asked to leave the park because karate can't be practiced on swans and ducks. I stole a bunch of rare coins worth $30K. The coin star gave me $30. I tried to pay for Mickey D's with weed. Tried to use my own mixtape as ID. Why? I am a Florida man. I am a Florida man. In the handle of the pen, I am a Florida man. Now don't go feeling all superior and assume that I am somehow your inferior. When my living room furniture is out of doors, please remember that my vote counts the same as yours. Maybe more. I had relations with a miniature horse,
Oh my God.
but I used protection just in case. Put on a bull costume and used pasta sauce to burn down my ex's place. Called 911 when all my vodka ran out. Attacked my family with homemade sauerkraut. Was arrested riding a manatee. Used a public library computer to print out my own counterfeit money. As you listen, there's one thing you must do, and that's believe every word of this is true. Yeah, true, it's so true. Why? I am a Florida man. I am a Florida man with a limited attention span. I am a Florida man. Oh man.
Oh my God.
All through.
All the headlines, yeah. All the
Yes,
headlines.
there is,
Yeah,
Right,
I
that's-
remember the swans thing.
Writing that
It's-
song.
There's a website called floridaman.com. You go there, you put your birthday in, and it tells you what happened on your birthday. All of these are real headlines from Florida.
oh my God.
Crazy. It's like crazy. And I could write 400 verses.
That's just like friggin' scary.
Yeah. The miniature horse.
It should have been a voiceover at the end of the song. That's freaking scary.
Oh, it really is.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
You guys are
He
great. I really
blew
appreciate
me away when he said, I'm a Florida man, because it took a while until he got here. But, you know, and then you go, what?
it. That's how it builds up. That's how it builds up, you see?
That
That's
was
how
good.
you, that's how you capture them in
That's
this
how you
business.
capture them. That's right. Okay. So that's about as silly as I get. This is about as serious as I get. So, here we go. a change picked up after each fight. Saw the path that I was bound to take. Though I checked the math, I refused to admit a mistake. How could I know what would happen at the end of that night? Atlanta, you saved me, yeah, you saved me. Time sailed fast, courting kindness not easily dismissed. First to the mast, songs of sirens grow hard to resist. Captain in part, reading maps filled with weather because. Though I had a chart, I refused to admit where I was. How could I know that my rescue was just out of sight? Atlanta, you saved me, yeah, you saved me. Atlanta, you saved me, yeah, you saved me. Past paths more pathetic than a forest before us. To think it's synthetic for someone to adore us. But I found the trail, though the sands had all shifted, overwhelmed by the weight of the load that was Suddenly, all the words that used to weigh me down get to be the same words lifting me off the ground. Atlanta, you saved me, yeah, you saved me. Atlanta, you saved me, yeah, you saved me. You saved me. You saved me. You saved me. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. So this is brand new, so bear with me. I'm gonna try to get through it. But I wanted to write kind of a standard-ish sounding thing, kind of like something in the 30s or 40s. Just as an exercise to see if I could do it. And I have a song called Happy Birthday Baby, which is sort of like a standard. But yeah. And I'm a big fan of verses. So every popular standard that you know usually has a verse that you don't know. So like, Night and Day, right? Everybody knows Night and Day, you are the one. That's the chorus. But there's a whole intro with the beat, 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 and the drum, drum, drum. It's a whole like verse. That's called the verse. And a lot of singers don't do verses anymore. But I thought, oh, let me write a verse, and I'll write a chorus, and it'll be kind of like an old-fashioned tune. And yeah, so this is called The Man in Love with You. And again, hopefully I'll get through it. I never pined to be the one who dined discreetly with celebrity or head of state. I never wished to ever share a dish completely with glamour girl or potentate. None of my fantasies were ever moonlit, but now there's something that I must admit. When I met you, I didn't think it could be true that you would bring out in me such a yearning. Let me disclose a fact that I suppose that you could chalk up to something that's worth learning. So now I find my mind in quite a frenzy. It's itching with both poise and envy. So I'll admit quite zealously I'm drowning in a jealousy. Turns out the thing I'm envious of is me. Because I get to be him, the man in love with you. Although it seems dim, I'm envious, it's true. I'm jealous of the man that you make time to see. It makes no sense because that very man is me. I get to be him, the man that holds your hand. I'm filled to the brim, I can barely understand how you are fine with loving such a foolish guy. That's why I'm jealous of me, myself, and I. My ears get envious of my eyes when you appear. My head starts spinning when my heart senses you're near. My knees begin to knock, half of me goes into shock, and I wish I really was what you revere. I get to be him, the man in love with you. Fills me with vigor and vim to know you feel it too. To think of all the things there are whose odds are slim. The man in love with you, I get to be him. I get to be him.
What are you doing an album of songs like that?
I'm gonna probably do that, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a movie soundtrack for you.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna do one more here for you, end the night on this. I so appreciate your kind attention. I appreciate you coming out and sticking around. And Rebecca, thank you for the opportunity. My goodness, means a lot. So this is one more tune, and it's unfortunately more relevant than ever. This is called The Least That You Can Do. It seems like half the world's on fire, the other half is drowning, and happiness is hard to find when all the world is frowning. Children suffer, parents cry, lives are torn asunder. It sometimes feels there's no relief to all the weight we're under. Bullets fly, airplanes crash, and nation invades nation. We're all doing what we can to help the situation. Now, what if I told you I found a way to fix disaster? A simple cure to mend all ills that anyone can master. Please listen as I offer up a cure with no compunction. My remedy involves just 2 words and 1 conjunction. Thoughts and prayers. Just offer up thoughts and prayers. The perfect way to fix a mess with guaranteed success. And best of all, this effort is 100% effortless. Thoughts and prayers. Just offer up thoughts and prayers. The first and only response from you for crises old and new. It's heartfelt and it's humble, and it's the least that you can do. Literally. Thoughts and prayers. The perfect way to put on airs. You can announce to all without discretion this glib expression and offer up the one phrase no one ever seems to question. Thoughts and prayers. Like rearranging the Titanic's deck chairs, checking the pressure of the Hindenburg's air, buying soup and underwear. So but it doesn't solve the thing, it shows you care, you really care. Anyone can use these words, they are the best you've got. And they can solve your problems, if by solve you mean do squat. But they make you feel good, and that's a universal animus. Who cares if they do any good, you get to feel magnanimous. Oh, thoughts and prayers, like some cheap linguistic laissez-faire. Perfect pronouncements for a public display. It's just the thing to say. And by doing this, you just comply. You hope the problem goes away. Thoughts and prayers, often from billionaires. It's a kind of sacrifice, you see. Why can't we all agree? I've said 3 words, that not enough. Just how much do you want from me? A thought and a prayer from politician or charge d'affaires. Instead of passing some legislation or regulation. So what if you're elected? Why should you cut short your own vacation? A prayer and a thought. It's like a badge of honor you just bought. You're cashing in on all the lives that were lost, the hopes and dreams that were tossed. I think you are confusing priceless with no cost. And yet, sometimes someone finds a box and fills it with some stuff, or volunteers, or lends a hand, or does a job that's rough. You're doing God's work, they say, but somehow misconstrue it. Of course, we have to do God's work. It's kind of like God will do it. Oh, thoughts and prayers. I've had enough of your thoughts and prayers. My intention is not to displease, but I am ill at ease with how all your investment stops right after all your sympathies. Thoughts and prayers. I'm distraught with this entire affair. Even though your moral sense may be stinking, here's a thought I'm thinking. I pray you're never gonna have to deal with any trauma. But if you do, I'll be sending out my thoughts and prayers to you. Then you'll see how much good it'll do. Thank you so much, ladies. I so appreciate it.